So, you've all heard the problem
Just
stated.
Gorgeous. It was.
Are there any
It's real
suggestions on
soft, flowing
how we
velvet.
might solve it?
Beautiful emerald green.
Are there any
Color of your
suggestions?
eyeshadow.
Very sure.
Well, no. it
Anybody
wasn't.
got any ideas?
A full- This is the way it was. It was.
Oh, I don't
We-
like low necklines. I don't.
How do you think we
They're
ought to
not very
proceed?
proper.
Is that right? Well, how
How
come
much
you
did
have?
it?
Do you think we ought to pursue the matter further? Or what?
Meetings, staff meetings, area representative meetings, committee meetings, conferences. Well, there are lots of meetings, but very few really effective discussions. Whether they are effective or not depends a lot on the leader. You see, it's his job to make the discussion productive and useful. What is an effective discussion? Well, it's one in which each person who has relevant and useful comment makes that contribution and is heard and understood.
Hi, I'm Al Foltz. I'm one of several tech employees who are instructors in our Leading Effective Discussions class. There are many kinds of meetings and discussions. The Leading Effective Discussions, or LED course, is designed to help you make any kind of discussion more productive. There are no hard and fast rules about what makes a meeting effective or how to lead it, but we've all been in meetings where things just seem to go haywire.
Are you saying that
Have
we
you ever
should
been
look
to Las
into
Vegas?
Yes, I've been to
the
Las
safety
Vegas.
procedures
What
around
did
the
you-
area?
While we were in Las Vegas, we went to a dinner show, and what else did we do while we were there?
This is a tough problem for a chairman to solve, but he can try.
Where'd you live in California?
Where'd I live?
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Augusta just before I moved up here.
Did you really?
Well, win a few, lose a few.
Okay, now, I'd like to hear some of your opinions on the idea Ed has just suggested.
Sometimes, time seems to be standing still. Sometimes, people get off the subject.
Well, if everyone rode a bicycle to work, there'd be a heck of a mess on our roads.
No, you're wrong. With fewer cars and more bikes, traffic would be much easier.
Let's stick to the subject, legalization of marijuana.
Well, if you're going to smoke pot, you shouldn't do it when you're riding a bike.
Sometimes one side of the room, or one sex, or one person will dominate the discussion.
Let's just leave it as it is. Okay, that sounds good.
In fact, almost anything can go wrong.
I think we'd all like to hear your opinion, Ed. Ed?
A strong discussion leader isn't necessarily one who dominates the meeting either. That might make the other participants wonder why they're there at all. Bosses, particularly, without trying, find it easy to dominate discussions.
The reason I've gotten you people together, I have a plan here of changing the furniture in our office. I think we can be a little more efficient by moving the desks around and get the work out a little faster. I like the idea. I think it's a good one. I'd like to hear what you people think about it.
It's easy for a leader, if he becomes too active a participant, to stifle the entire discussion.
Well, there are some problems. For example...
Well, they certainly are minor ones. I mean, the benefits certainly would outweigh any disadvantages there would be.
Well, for one thing, I'd find it awkward being located so far from the door.
Makes it kind of hard for you to get to coffee break, doesn't it?
But a weak leader isn't very effective either. He leaves the door open for someone else to dominate the discussion, or for the discussion to disintegrate completely.
Come on, guys.
There's no way you can get enough people to fight a war during
Hey.
in order to keep it going.
A lot of what makes a good leader is just plain common sense. Each leader must lead in his own style. With practice and the kind of group help and constructive criticism the LED class provides, you'll learn the skills of leading and the importance of watching and listening. Each student gets practice in leading discussions, then is evaluated by the other class members. So you see, it's very much a self-help program.
I think it was a pretty good discussion, and everybody seemed to take part, but I'm not so sure the objective was met.
Do you remember what happened when the discussion leader was attempting to define the purpose of discussion? He had a problem at that time. And what else happened?
Well, at the beginning, he gave himself away.
The discussion leader soon learns that knowledge of the subject is far less important than being sensitive to what people are saying or trying to say. And often, the difference between a meeting that works and one that fails is a matter of simple things. At some meetings, it helps to have an agenda handed out beforehand. The area representative conference works this way. Questions are a major way of participating, and always should be handled thoughtfully. People ask questions for many reasons, sometimes to get information, sometimes to show interest, sometimes to help the leader.
Okay, now, I'd like to hear some of your opinions on the idea Ed has just suggested.
Would it be better if we took a quick show of hands?
Okay.
Sometimes a person asks questions as a way to draw attention to himself. In this way, the habitual questioner, if he's allowed to, can dominate a meeting.
I think every manager should see to it that all of his employees within, say, a month or 2 months after being taken into the group should see the entire company, if at all possible. I think the more time that's spent on touring the company and seeing the various areas of the company, the less problem will come up in the future of people asking questions about the operation of the company. I think that the flow of information...
Often, a person who dominates the meeting can use his energies in more helpful ways.
Bill, would you mind putting some of the group's ideas on the board, and then we can look at them and decide which one we think is best? I do it myself, but no one could read my writing.
Humor is one of the very best ways to keep a discussion pleasant and to build up a friendly, trusting atmosphere. It's sometimes a temptation for the leader to be a participant.
Should we go ahead then and plan for a speaker next month, giving both sides of the issue, or is that too controversial?
The chairman sometimes needs to tread a narrow line between dominating the meeting himself and failing to take a strong role in making it effective.
Is it your feeling, John, that it would be too controversial? I'd like to know what some of the rest of you feel about that also.
An effective leader often makes frequent short summaries.
So far, we've heard a lot of views as to why drug education might be a useful topic for a Tektronic speaker. The main reason seems to be that there's too much conflicting information in the press, and it would be useful to have someone put it into perspective.
You've just seen only a small sample of the kinds of discussions, problems, and techniques the LED class concerns itself with. The class is made up of 10 weekly 2-hour sessions to best suit the class needs. There's no charge for area reps and area rep trainees. Because the course is felt to be so important to our area rep activity, there's a small charge for other employees. To sign up, see your panel member. This class is designed to help you really lead an effective discussion.